We're always looking for the best fantasy draft strategy. Another fantasy football tip to add to your strategy is knowing which wide receivers are in their prime years. The prime years are when the wide receivers score the most fantasy points. Drafted players in the prime can make a difference in winning your league. I know you're interested, so stick around for 7 seconds. The information today can help in redraft leagues and especially in dynasty football leagues. By discovering which players are in their prime or on the edge of declining, you can use that to your advantage. I have information from the last 20 years of what ages wide receivers have their most productive season. The research is from apexfantasyleague.com with my tweaks added, but remember, age is just one factor in draft strategies, but I'll show you my notes right now. This image shows how many wide receivers scored at least 225 PPR points and at what age since 2000. 225 points is normally top 21 for wide receivers. Last season, DJ Moore was wide receiver 16 and he scored 238 points. He was the last player to score over 225 points in 2024. Last year, overall wide receiver scoring is lower because the running backs dominated fantasy scoring in 2024. The wide receivers took a back seat in fantasy points. Out of the top 21 wide receivers, there are 6 of them who scored over 225 PPR points in 2023 and 24. CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, DJ Moore, Mike Evans, Davante Adams, and Jamar Chase. Because of the big year for running backs in 2024, there are less wide receivers who scored consistent fantasy points in back-to-back seasons. The image you're seeing now is a graph of how many wide receivers scored at least 258 PPR points and at what age. This is considered elite scoring. Scoring 258 points in a season is normally the top 12. But in 2024, CeeDee Lamb was wide receiver 8 with 263 points, showing it was not a great year for wide receivers. I just keep repeating myself over and over and over and over again. The prime ages are 25 to 28. Obviously, these players get a lot of volume. There are 3 wide receivers who scored over 258 points in 2023 and 2024. CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jamar Chase. If we want to go further back, Lamb and Amon-Ra St. Brown are the only wide receivers to score at least 258 points in 3 straight seasons. This is an image from Ryan J. Heath's Twitter or X or Y or whatever. It is a graph of a wide receiver career baseline average from 21 years old to 35. You can see a rookie at 21 years old has an increase of 104% before a drop to 90%. There are a few 21-year-old wide receivers that enter the league, but I bet you Brian Thomas Jr. and Malik Nabers make up most of that stat. After the drop after age 22, you can see the peak years are 26 years old with 124.8% and 28 years old with 124%. Players are going to score most of their points between ages 25 and 28. Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, and Justin Jefferson are all in that age range, and all 3 are drafted before the 110. Now, since we have the layout of what is the best age for scoring wide receivers, I will discuss the top wide receivers for 2024 and explain if I think they will be in the top 21 or 12 in scoring. These 2 wide receivers were in the top 21 in 2024 and now considered past their prime according to the data. Davante Adams, age 31, scored 241 points in 2024. He started the season with up and down games until he was traded to the Jets and back with Aaron Rodgers to improve his points per game to 17. It could have been a bad year for Adams, but with his chemistry with Rodgers, it saved fantasy managers. At the start of the season, he will be 32 years old. I'm not worried about him losing speed. He was never considered a fast wide receiver anyway with a 4.56 40 time, but he is one of the best route runners in the NFL, and his volume is ridiculous. He has been the most targeted player in the red zone for the past decade. 2024, 37% red zone target share. 2023, 38. 2022, 31. 2021, 25. 2020, with 42%, and the list goes on. Now he's back in a great system, playing with the Cooper Kupp role. And Kupp in that offense dominated the red zone. Because of his elite route running and volume in the red zone, Adams will be fine, drafted at the top of the 3rd round. Mike Evans at age 31 was wide receiver 14 with 241 points. He scored 40 points less than his previous year. He hurt his hamstring and missed about 3 games. He had his fewest receptions since 2020 with at least 14 games played. Fewest receiving yards since 2017. And yards per reception were lowest in his career, but still 11 goddamn touchdowns. He has never been a 100 reception guy, but they had to force feed him the ball to make sure his 1,000-yard season streak continues. His routes run per game dropped to under 30, but he still had a 20% red zone target share, which is ranked 8th best. He proved last season he is still a beast in the end zone. He will be 32 to start the season, and only 9 wide receivers since 2000 have scored over 258 points at the age of 32. I believe his elite days are over and will be on the edge of top 20 wide receiver. He is currently at the top of the 4th round. I want to take a second. If you're enjoying the information in this video, then please hit the subscribe, press the like. We have reached our goal of 2,000, and now we have a new goal of 2,500 before the season starts. Anything will help the channel, and we appreciate all you zoners out there. Thanks for watching. These next 10 wide receivers I will discuss were in the top 21 in 2024 and are either staying or entering their prime seasons. I'll share if I believe they have a chance to repeat a top 21 or top 12 performance. I won't discuss the obvious elite wide receivers with CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, or Jamar Chase. They are in their prime, and the only way they don't have elite scoring is if their season is filled with injuries. DJ Moore scored 40 points less in 2024. Finished as wide receiver 16. I don't believe the regression was due to anything except Caleb Williams and the Bears coaching staff. He still managed 4th in routes run, 10th in targets, 3rd in yards after catch, and 1st in ending plays early and walking off the field. Caleb Williams and the Bears played below expectations in 2024. At age 27, he can still run with his 5th in target separation. He might be a steal at the top of the 5th if Ben Johnson offense explodes and Caleb Williams plays like a 1st overall pick. I bet he is barely top 21 with Aroma Dunze, Luther Burden, and Colts 11 on the same field as him. Brian Thomas Jr. scored 284 points as a rookie and was wide receiver 4. The Forgotten Tiger was badass, ranked 9th in fantasy points per target and 8th in yards per route run. He is only one of 4 wide receivers at age 21 to hit elite scoring since 2000. It wasn't until week 13 when he went nuclear, earning 10 plus targets the rest of the season. At that time, there was no one else to catch the ball, but Thomas wasn't a disappointment when taking on the hero role. They do have a new head coach and drafted Travis Hunter, who can take some receptions and touchdowns away. Plus, is Trevor Lawrence even good? Only 8 wide receivers at the age of 22 have scored 258 points or more. I think he could definitely do it in back-to-back seasons, but if I had to bet, I'd say no. His ADP is early 2nd. Drake London at age 23 scored 280 points. He jumped from 10 points per game to 16. He had pure volume, 3rd in targets, 6th in target share, and 3rd in target rate, and led the league with end zone target share at 27%. Finished with 9 touchdowns on the season. But what made London great was when Michael Penix started, he targeted London 39 times in 3 games. Ray McLeod was 2nd on the team during that span with only 12 targets. London could lead the league in targets and end zone target share next season. A great chance for him to score elite numbers at age 24. Malik Nabers at age 21 was wide receiver 6 with 273 points. One of 4 21-year-olds to score over 258 points since 2000. As a rookie, he was 2nd in targets with 170. All of his metrics for the wide receiver production are all in the top 10. And he achieved this with 3 bottom-of-the-barrel caliber quarterbacks. And as of right now, he has Russell Wilson, who is an upgrade at QB. There is a chance of him falling outside of league scoring because he is on a shitty team who has the worst strength of schedule of the season. But he did it last year with less of a supporting cast. At 22, Nabers is a great candidate for elite scoring, and only 7 wide receivers have done it before at that age of 22. His ADP is 1st round. Terry McLaurin at age 28, he was wide receiver 7, scoring 267 points. It took his 6th season to break top 12. All he needed was a quarterback. After age 28, there is a decline in the number of players who had elite scoring, and he has some red flags. His touchdown rate was 15%, one of the highest rates in the league. His 13 touchdowns were more than double his career average of 5 a year. He was outside the top 15 in red zone targets. 9 of his 13 touchdowns were contested catches. That is the most by any wide receiver in the last 6 seasons. Deebo Samuel will have some presence in the red zone, especially inside the 10. Commanders are a run-heavy team as well. I believe we saw an outlier year, and McLaurin will come back down to reality. At age 29, he won't have elite scoring, but can manage top 20. He is going in the 4th. I like him in the 5th. Jaxon Njigba. At age 22, he was wide receiver 9 with 253 points. The back half of the season, Njigba went crazy. He ran the 6th most routes and was first in slot routes. Playing in the slot is easy PPR points. He was 2nd in total route wins. He is great with the ball in his hands as he was 7th in yards after the catch. The red flags this year are Cooper Kupp and Sam Darnold. If Sam Darnold can play like he did in Minnesota, and if Njigba stays in the slot, then he has the potential for elite scoring at age 23. He is drafted at the end of round 3, but I am staying away from him because of the question marks. Garrett Wilson at age 24, wide receiver 10 with 251 points. He had his best fantasy season, but with only 14 points per game for a first-round pick. He was 3rd in routes run and 4th in targets, but 85th in catchable target rate. That's 98 targets. Rodgers and Wilson couldn't get on the same page most of the season. The product doesn't get much better. He gets his old college buddy Justin Fields as quarterback now. Wilson can earn 200 targets but only 100 receptions. Garrett Wilson is entering his prime. Wide receivers 25 years old have hit elite scoring the 2nd most since 2000. And maybe 200 targets are what it takes to get him there. His ADP is bottom 4th round, and that is a great spot. Jeudy, age 25, in his prime, had his best year by far and scored 240 points. His season ended as wide receiver 12. His points per game went up by 6 points from 2023. He was tied for the most routes run and 7th in targets. The Browns went crazy last year and threw the ball a lot, 2nd most per play. Starting week 9, he had double-digit targets 6 times. Now, I don't think Kevin Stefanski will keep that same philosophy this upcoming year. And age 26 is the peak age for players to score over 258 points. It will be difficult for Jeudy to repeat last year's performance, but he's going late enough in the 7th round to roll the dice on. McConkey at age 22, he was tied with Jeudy with 240 points, but he averaged 15 points per game. Week 11 is when McConkey caught fire and didn't have a weekly finish outside wide receiver 27 for the rest of the year. He played in the slot 6th most. And since Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert loves to target the slot. And he was 7th in win rates versus man and gets targeted the 6th most versus man coverage. And was 7th in yards per route run. I believe he can have elite scoring. At age 23, there is a significant increase in elite scoring for wide receivers. And now he has his 2nd year bump, another year familiar with the offense and Justin Herbert. And he is drafted in the middle of the 3rd round, which is a great spot. And this is all great until I found out 6 hours ago that the Chargers have signed Keenan Allen. Now, with Keenan Allen on the team, I am staying away from McConkey because if I was Jim Harbaugh, I would put Keenan Allen in the slot and run him to the ground. Our only hope is that Keenan Allen will play less than 20 snaps a game and McConkey will still dominate the slot spot, but I doubt it. Courtland Sutton, at 28 years of age, scored 240 points, tied with 3 other wide receivers, and was wide receiver 15. Sutton by far had his best year as he never finished inside the top 24 in points per game until 2024. He had his career high in receptions and was 2nd in air yards, 7th in deep targets, and 8th in red zone targets. He was also 3rd in contested catches. He was Bo Nix's favorite wide receiver. Looks like the offense is going to be better next year with the weapons they've added in the offseason, but it's difficult to set career highs at age 28 and then have career highs again at age 29, especially when the stats show a drop-off at age 29. It'll be a tough road for elite scoring, but top 21 is still in the realm for Sutton in this offense. He is going late 6th round. The next 3 wide receivers are in their prime and have a good chance to score 225 points in 2024. I believe 1 or 2 of these wide receivers have a shot at elite scoring because of their volume and their offense that they're in. Higgins, at age 25, he scored 222 points, but was 5th in points per game at 18. He missed 5 games due to injury, or he would have had a chance at elite scoring. This is back-to-back years of missing 5 games. He is on a power offense with Joe Burrow throwing 45 freaking touchdowns. His red zone and end zone target share were both higher than Jamar Chase. Higgins is currently in his prime, but injuries have held him back. If he stays healthy, he has potential for elite scoring in the 3rd round. Marvin Harrison Jr. At age 22, he scored under 200 points. A 4th overall NFL draft pick, 2nd round fantasy pick, but couldn't score over 200 points. He was top 20 in targets with 116, but only 79 were deemed catchable. That is ranked 64th. He was third in win rate versus man, but apparently Kyler Murray can't see him. If Drew Petzing can improve Harrison's receptions per game from 3 to 5, he has potential for elite scoring due to his target share of 21% in the red zone. Harrison is being drafted at the beginning of the 4th round. DK Metcalf at age 26 scored 191 points. He was 30th in points per game. Even though he was first in deep targets, his catch rate was 61% and 55% in 2023. And I believe that is not the quarterback's fault, since Geno Smith's completion percentage was 70%. But also, he hasn't received the volume. Outside 20 for targets the last 2 years. Red zone target share is 17%, and end zone target share is 14%. Geno Smith was not using DK Metcalf to score. Flash forward to 2025, and he is with Aaron Rodgers and the only wide receiver on that team. Even in a run-heavy offense, Metcalf can get career highs in targets, which increases his chances for more fantasy points. Elite scoring might be pushing it, but he can be on the border of top 7 if he is used in the red zone. His ADP is middle 6th round, and he is a potential league winner. Now we know what age to draft wide receivers. The prime years are 25 through 28, with a peak prime at age 26. Ages outside 25 to 28 are still capable to perform under the right circumstances, but are less likely to hit the elite scoring mark. It's something to think about when you're preparing for your draft. It's training camp season. If you want to know who's the next Puka Nacua or Chris Brown, check this video out here and it shows you all the hype. Who's getting all the hype in this training camp season. We also got a live episode every Friday. Come join us. We'll talk shop, have a few brewskis. I'll talk to you then. Deuces.